And we are back, and this is Love the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, your number one African Caribbean online radio. My name is DJ TYP, the place to be. It's a great day here, but you know what? I know for sure that I've been prompted to set my clock back. And we are here with Petra. Hi, Petra, how you doing?
I'm good, TYB. Hey, Love Bay family.
Yes.
I didn't even know we're going to be changing our clocks back. It's that time again. I swear we just moved it forward.
I know. It feels like yesterday, It feels like yesterday. Yeah. And
I think there's something they're not telling us. I think every day is like, I swear a day feels like half a day these days. A week, it's like it's Monday comes and then boom, it's Friday, and then boom, it's like Monday, then boom, it's Friday. It's like, what is going on?
I don't know where the time goes, these days. I really would wish that I know where time goes. But you know what? At the end of the day, like Jan Two Blue say, we live in the land of the living. We have to be very happy about our circumstances because not everybody out there, has gone through a perfect day. Some people may have gone through a perfect day, but others are facing challenges. How was your week, though?
My week was pretty good. It was a pretty good week, very productive, so just out there, just reaching out and connecting and networking with different people. Just really had a good week, nice and relaxing. How was yours?
It's been great. We are trying to piece together a lot of things, and we're looking up to next year. And we have so many things lined up for us. And as a matter of fact, we were contacted yesterday by the International Reggae Music and World. What is it? International Reggae Award and Music
Irama.
Irama. Thank you.
Irama.
Yes. Yeah, we were contacted. So we are going to have some partnerships in it there, and then we've got other partnerships coming out. So far so good. We've been privileged to, or I would say we've gotten the opportunity that doors have started opening up for us. So the week has been good. That we have to work overtime to be able to reach what what we want to do. How's business anyway?
Yeah, no, definitely gonna go off that energy too, and I totally agree with you. In order to get what you want, you do have to put in that extra effort, and especially when you're starting off or you're a startup of any kind, it's like you have to kind of like, if you have like one of those cars like back in the day, you have to like a motorcycle, for example, and you have to use the kickstart and go brr, 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 those kickstarts is like
do that again. Do that again.
I can roll my tongue.
That's right.
For sure, TYB. But yeah, like that kickstart, that motion, that's what it's like in the first 1 to 3 years of any organization. You know what I mean? You have to put in the extra energy, the extra effort. You know what I mean? And I was even talking to a friend like not too long ago. So I definitely want to shout out MOB. You should be listening right now. Big up Jamaica. You don't know, big up yourself. But yeah, we were having a conversation and we were talking about the fact that sometimes you have to take short-term L's in order for you to gain the long-term W. You know what I mean? And that's what it is in business. Like you face little challenges, like it's like the business in itself is one big challenge. But when you enter into that big challenge, you realize that big challenge has all these little challenges, and then you may go to one little challenge, and that one little challenge may have a whole bunch of more little challenges. But you have to solve the little challenges of the little challenge to solve the little challenge of the bigger, in order for you to figure out the big challenge. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So it's a whole process of problem solving and just really figuring out how to overcome a challenge. But it's not even just figuring out how to overcome a challenge. It's recognizing who you are at the beginning of that challenge, whether big or small, and the person that you have to become while in the process of that challenge, and who you end up being once you overcome it. So there's a beauty in the entire process and the journey of entrepreneurship, and I'm happy. I myself am going through those challenges, and I'm embracing them. You have to embrace them as a business owner. You know what I mean? And who I was at the beginning of the year towards like now, and who I'm going to be at the end of the year, is someone that has progressed so much further in business, has managed to accomplish things and achieve successes, and is going to do that for the following year, for 2024, and continue to do it and make it get better and better, and that's definitely energy and advice I want to share to the listeners. And if you're out there, you're an entrepreneur and you're putting in that work, remember, embrace the challenge. Don't fight it. Don't get frustrated. Don't have anxiety. Welcome and embrace the challenge of entrepreneurship or whatever your endeavor is, and focus on the person of who you're going to become once you overcome that challenge, which is greatness.
That's right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I watched Success is the New Sexy this past Wednesday with Bella. And
Bella.
she was saying exactly what you're saying. The topic was what happens behind the scenes. Because as a business person, nobody knows. A lot of people don't know what you do behind the scenes. So, it was personal to her. And I enjoyed the program. So those of you out there, if you want to know a little bit more about Bella the Beauty Boss, about her, what she's done to achieve that success that she has, well, you may have to go onto YouTube and then just look out for Success is the New Sexy, Bella the Beauty Boss. It's on Love the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. Well, today we have a very special show, very, very, very special show. And you know what? I don't know what to say. The African women from the Caribbean, from the continent, well, there's a lot of talent out there. And without much ado, let me welcome. Before I even introduce her, this is the afternoon for the Juno Award winners.
Yes.
I'm nominee. Yes. I ain't there yet with y'all winners, but I'm a nominee.
Hey.
To even go there, you are a winner.
Thank you.
Hi, Tommy. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Oh, doing great. It's such a pleasure to have you on this.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Like I'm saying, it's the afternoon for the Juno Award winners.
Yeah.
So we are going to have a very great fun. You know what? Anytime I see or we bring onto the program divas from Africa, well, I don't know what to say. Last week we had another diva, Kati Matete. Kati, if you're listening, if you're watching, yeah, another diva is here. Welcome to Highway 6 to Africa. And with me is Petra, 2020 Juno Award nominee, Reggae.
Hi, Tommy.
Hi.
And we have been through the grind and all those kind of stuff. 2020, mine was 2005. It's been quite a while, so I think I have to go back and then do it again. And in any case, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm grateful. I'm here.
So great to have you. Petra, as usual, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm so honored. Yo, let me go first to the questions. Yeah, so Tommy, how's everything with you?
It's been good. I'm just gearing up for the release of my EP November 17th. And yeah, I'm just taking it a day at a time.
Okay, awesome. And we're definitely going to get into that and definitely show the listeners about your new EP, your new single, Fine Pass. Listen to it. Amazing track, girl.
Thank you.
Great vibes. So I always start off with a very similar question to a lot of the artists, because I definitely think it's a great opener and it allows our listeners to kind of get to know you a bit more. So I want to start off with that signature question. I want to ask you, can you just share with our listeners, who is TOME?
TOME is an Afrofusion artist based out of Toronto, Canada, singer, songwriter, and actor, and Juno Award winner. And Um, just queen of vibes. You know what I'm saying?
I like that. Nice and short and sweet. Okay, awesome. So I wanted to ask you, kind of want to go back a little bit. Um, when it comes to music, tell us a little bit
Mhm.
about your background. Like, what was it that made you fall in love with music?
Yeah, I think it was honestly movies. I would always
Mm,
hear music in like a lot of older 80s songs and everything of that nature. I really only know them because they were a soundtrack to a movie
mm-hmm,
and made me really like remember them. I think overall, like I watched a lot of like kid shows and it's all based around music. And there was like Annie Brocoli because every set I watched a lot of French shows and everything like that.
mm,
So I genuinely was always sort of just doing things with sorry, there was just a little
that's
thing there.
okay.
But yeah, no, I've just always been very into music. I don't think there was even really like something that sparked it per se. I just loved music and I started writing music. Started with poems, but then melodies would come to my head. And then from there, I just kind of started making songs without a beat. And then by the age of 10, after begging my parents for a guitar, I got one.
Nice.
And yeah, that's what really just started my love for composing music, really.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So definitely thank you for sharing about what made you fall in love with music. I kind of want to delve a little bit into your background as well before I pass on to TYB. So you
Yeah.
mentioned that you're an Afrobeat artist based in Toronto,
Yes.
but I know you also have French in your upbringing. So can you talk to us a little bit about where exactly in Toronto you grew up and how your background or pretty much how you grew up and your influences like impacted your music and to make it into the artist that you are now?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's why I really um emphasize the fact that like I'm Afrofusion and not really
Mhm.
Afrobeat
Okay.
because
Mm,
it is very much a fusion in of itself. I am a fusion in blood. So
mm,
it's very much that I try to convey and represent within my music as well. So I was born in Montreal, Canada,
nice.
and my mom is Quebecois. She's fully French. And we moved out here when I was 2 years old, but I was always within the Francophone community.
Mm,
Full, which is very like that's full French. There was no Nigerians around me. I was around a lot of French Africans, like
wow.
Congolese,
Okay.
Senegalese, Cameroonian, uh,
Mm,
and Arabics and Europeans alike. And that was sort of where I was, and I went from like Mississauga to Oakville to Brampton. I stayed in Brampton for the longest period of my time.
mhm,
Um, and that's where I got a lot of Caribbean influence in my life.
mhm.
And generally speaking, I still went to school in Mississauga in a full French. I graduated high school in a full, not French immersion, like full French. So
Wow.
for me, I was always around so much culture all the
Mhm.
time. And then my dad was also a very proud Nigerian man and made sure that we knew our roots and
I love
knew where we were from as well. And
mhm.
so I went back to Nigeria like every 5 years when I was 5, when I was 10, when I was 15. And
Nice.
after that, it was like all the time. And
Mhm,
then he also just I'm very grateful to have had the childhood I had, and I was able to travel and see a lot of things in a lot of places when I was young. So I was like a
mhm.
sponge. I was constantly soaking up cultures around me, and they always just sparked so much inspiration in different ways for me. So it's
Mhm.
really what makes my music. It's all of who I am is culture and being having grown up with so much around me. It's almost inevitable that my
Yeah,
music sounds the way it sounds. Yeah.
definitely. And you make amazing music, girl. I love the fusion. I love the sound. And I really feel like the music, it emulates your personality. So thank you for
Thank
sharing
you.
that with the listeners.
Yes, thank you so much.
TYB?
Well, it's what need I say more? I've read your bio, and I'm so much impressed with where you are right now. My first question to you was that, um, do you write your own music?
Yes and no. I've had writers help me. Yeah, I've written most of my music. I've also had writers help me with a lot of my songs. I've also co-wrote with a lot of my songs. So it's a blend of it all. Yeah.
And what was your first track of first music that you penned down?
I
Do
was
you
8 years
remember?
old. Yeah.
How old are you?
It was called What Up.
What?
That's
Nice.
literally what it was called.
Everyone remembers that first song, you know?
Yeah, I have a lot of those. Just a
Oh,
bunch of
what up?
notebooks full of songs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And how old were you?
I was 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you record it?
Not that one. I recorded the ones that I would voice record everything just on my phone at that time. So I had 2 songs on a CD by the time I was 10. I was like, yeah, I'm a superstar. Like I have 2 songs on a
What?
CD. I'm Um, but yeah, no, because I mean, I recorded a lot of my songs, but I lost so many of them too. I was a kid, I didn't know what I was doing. So
Mm.
I lost so many of them, unfortunately. But then I think one of like my earliest work is still on SoundCloud today. It's called One with Self. It's like a playlist on my SoundCloud. And I just left it there. I posted that back in like 2015. So I was like 15, 16 years old. And yeah, I was very much just in this very like I that was probably some of the works that I was finally confident enough to put out. And even still, there's so it was literally just a recording off my phone and I just posted it on SoundCloud. There's no edit, there's none of that. It's just me and my guitar and a phone. And it was really raw, it's really real, and it's like the beginning of who Tommy is.
Yeah, I asked that question because I've asked this same question to other artists.
Hmm.
What up was the music, was the track, right?
I'm sorry?
What up? The title was What Up.
Yeah, the first song, yeah.
Okay, you didn't get to record it.
No,
Are you thinking of recording it?
definitely not.
Like,
No,
no.
we're gonna leave that one in the past.
It's for those die-hard Tome fans, you know, that want to know the roots of the music.
They
Now
can
we're
listen
gonna
to
go
the
listen
One
to the
with Self
song.
EP. They can listen to that. That one is just as rough as the rest, so it's okay. They can take that one.
I asked that because you may not know. I think you may have to think about it and record it because you may
That
not
one,
know. Yeah, think about
who
it.
knows? Yeah, I mean, if the right beat comes along and I'm like, oh, the song I wrote when I was 8 years old would work with this, then yeah, we'll get to it.
Okay. Okay. After what up? Was there any other one that you when you got into music that you, oh yeah, sure, that was good. I would like to record that.
Yeah, I had a few. There was one actually that I posted on Facebook. And it was called I made the title so freaking long. I'd probably call it original now, but at that time I was like, we were born original, so don't die a copy. That's the title of the song. I'm like, I'm so childish now. But yeah, it was like I was like, this is a quote that I found and I really was inspired by it. So it's not my quote, but this is my song. And I just made a whole song around it. And it's about we're born original, so don't die a copy. And it's yeah, I would probably remake that song for sure.
You
That sounds
see?
pretty cool. I
Yeah,
like that one.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, even
I
the
like the lyrics.
2015
Why we
project.
can co-produce the song with you, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
Uh,
Yes, I asked that because sometimes we put it out there and it's I'm not going to touch it, but maybe it's a
Right.
gem out there, so yeah, you might have to think about it.
Yeah, to be honest, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
My next question to you will be, with respect to your background, French, English. Are you thinking of recording Afrofusion in French?
Well, I've already done that
Oh,
a few times. So
hmm.
You haven't done your research,
I
sir.
haven't.
Oh,
Yeah, I heard I had a track, right? But until I came to the realization that you had a French background, I
Hmm.
didn't know.
I know. I mean, granted, it's not like I have a whole project of it. It's the one
Yes.
and twos,
Uh-huh.
but I have definitely done it. And I am planning on working on a full project.
Mhm.
Just isn't the focus right now, but it's 1000% within the plans. So it will happen.
No,
Yeah.
that would be awesome because I like French music and stuff like that. Because
Yeah,
you know
same.
what?
I
beautiful.
love French music.
Yeah, when I left Africa, when I left Ghana originally and came to Canada, I went to Montreal. So I lived in Montreal for quite a
Mm.
while, did my university education there. So, I'm almost in tune with what is actually going on. It's a city of fun. It's a city
Yeah,
of
Montreal
fun,
is
yeah.
nice.
Just right.
Yeah.
And with respect to your, going to the studio to record,
Hmm.
what pushed you? What sort of one thing that pushed you and said, you know what, I have arrived and it's time to go. I'm not going to wait for anybody anymore. I know who I am. I'm
Yeah.
Tommy. I'm here. There's nobody who was going to stop me from doing
Um, I don't know. I never really had that thought. I just
it.
always made music. And at the time when I released the SoundCloud project, which was just off my phone, I was now someone found me there who lived in Brampton too, and he was like, "I have a studio. Come through to my house." And that was the first time I ever entered a studio. And I just like I never really stopped. I was like, okay, cool. Now I've discovered a new way to make music and a new way to record and a new way to create. And it just kind of always continued. There wasn't really a point where I was like, um, I know who I am. I'm gonna make music. Music was always being made, but I more so had that thought when I wanted to release music and when I actually now wanted to put myself out there professionally. And so when that happened was probably in like 2018, where I was like, this next project, I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I know for sure I'm going to do something. I love this and I want to make something happen here. And that's when I had just put all the money I was working with, like I was working, I was putting that money back into the studio, I was making the music, I was investing time into the studio, investing times into the beats. And I was like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with this, but I just know I want to make it good. And come 2019, that's when I had the opportunity to go on the WizKid tour. Um, and my dad, who was producing that show, he was just like, "Okay, do you want to be on it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, you have to release music," and it was kind of like, okay, cool. Like I was gonna take a year, learn the business, and make sure I know what I'm doing. But he was like, "Let's release music," and it was kind of he just became my manager through that whole experience, and it was a great 3.5 year run. But yeah, I don't think it was any particular moment when it comes to music. I always knew that I had that talent, so I always did it. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay.
Most definitely. Thank you for sharing. And yeah, speaking about some of the artists that you've had a chance to be on stage with, I think it's amazing, you know. I know you mentioned you've been on stage with Burna Boy, Wizkid, Mr. Easy, and you've also done songs with Sean Kingston and also Runtown as well, which is
Yeah.
some amazing artists just like yourself. I wanted to ask you, so what would you say you've learned from being around those type of artists? Like what kind of advice, what did you see visually just by being in their presence, anything they said to you verbally, anything? Like what have you learned from being around and interacting with artists on that caliber, of that caliber?
I think I learned early that this is a business. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I learned early that being creative is one thing, but the business is so crucial to your growth. And so I think that was really like what stood out to me and the importance of having a team. A lot of them have a very strong team around them and have a very strong foundation of those who play a certain role to make the dream happen. So
Mm-hmm.
it was a lot of that. There was a lot of that. There was also you just see the dedication it takes. It's not easy. It's
Yeah,
not
for
easy at
sure.
all. Like I had an idea, but when you're really in it and I'm just opening, like them as the headliner, their energy is being drained every single night, back
Yeah.
to back. It's late nights, it's very early mornings just to get to the next place and get to the venue and do the sound check and then do the show. There's no time to rest. You have people in between trying to meet with you. So I saw a lot of that for them, and it made me realize, yep, this is what I want for myself.
Confirmation.
I love it. I love it. No, but it was also just it was very rewarding, and it was a privilege for me to see that so early in my career, and
Mm-hmm.
it really allowed me to get a fresh perspective from the beginning, so that I also know what is coming for me. It was like a testament to what is next, and they're all great people as well. Wiz is a very, very awesome guy. He was really close to my dad. He's just very respectful. I've literally known him since I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
Performing with like a Burna Boy. I mean, Burna is Burna. So he's very much like, I don't think I spoke to him and said hello and stuff, but it was very like back to back to back, and we never really had that chance. Mr. Easy is a amazing guy, very kind, very warm, like warm-hearted. By the time we were in Paris, and I'd been doing the tour with him, there was a lot. There was I feel like he had a newfound respect for me, and kind
Nice.
of being able to see me on stage, and I had a great respect for him because he puts on all his shows. He doesn't. At that time, it was him producing his shows. There was no promoter
Okay.
bringing him. So
Mm-hmm.
again, it's like the business of music. So I saw a lot of that, and yeah, I'm really grateful to everyone I've had the opportunity to talk to. There's put on this high pedestal when you talk to them. They're just humans, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most definitely. I love that. Thank you for sharing. And it kind of leads on to my next question. You answered it a little bit, but I was going to ask you, so um, how has it made you a better artist?
right. Um, Touring definitely made me much stronger for stage, and it really allowed me to grow in that nature, and really like hone in on that skill, and build it and practice and create that level for myself. Um, and aside from that, I think being able to work with these guys creates so
Mm-hmm.
much value outside of, the perception. It just creates more value for yourself in terms of understanding that you're at that caliber as well, and like you are more than able, and you're more than what you might have thought before. I think it just made me a better artist mindset wise, in realizing that like, um I'm with the greats. I'm a great.
Because if you're amongst them, you must be one too, you know?
And you are who you hang around.
Exactly. I love that. So I want to just backtrack a little bit, and definitely thank you for sharing about your background. And before I do move forward, I do want to definitely acknowledge the listeners of today. I want to shout out to Ron Malinga. He was a guest host last week. He's part of the family here at Love Bay Radio. So I definitely want to shout out him. I want to shout out Madhouse Music for also tuning in. And I also want to shout out Elle Delion. She has a show called
Healthy
Elevate
lion.
Hey, shout out L.
Yeah, so I definitely want to shout her out as well. Definitely tune into her show. But yes, I just wanted to move back to my question. I do want to backtrack a little bit, and
Yeah.
you spoke to us a little bit about the journey and pretty much what it's like being amongst the greats. But I do want to acknowledge your great moment of when became a Juno Award winner. So again, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you so much.
I wanted to ask you at that moment, do you feel like how did winning the Juno change your life in relation to the trajectory of your music? Because even prior to that, you'd already established yourself as an artist, you've already achieved great things. But how did now becoming a Juno Award winner, elevate your career, and how did it impact you? Um, I'd say on a business level, music wise, and also personally. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an amazing achievement to receive. Um, and so it 1000% just elevated my perception of established artists, you know? And so there was a lot more organizations and companies reaching out to me just based on that. There was a lot more promoters looking to book me. It definitely grew my trajectory as an artist myself. I wasn't just being booked as an opener anymore. It was like I want to try
Hmm.
something for you, or I want you to be part of this. And so it definitely created a lot of value that I
Hmm.
was already building for myself, but when you receive such an accolade, it definitely increases that value a lot. And yeah, I mean, I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful when you're able to make an impact of that nature, especially because I'm not necessarily a reggae artist. But I think it also brought to light that I'm not a reggae artist. I'm an Afrofusion artist, but I won a Juno, and so I think that it also helped bring a lot more representation to Afrobeats and like fusion in Canada. And I'm
Hmm.
also very honored to have been that representation. And so, and I hope it like, tugged at Junos a little bit to open up the criteria, make it bring the Africa into it, because there's a lot of us here doing a lot of things. And so I think that,
Exactly.
yeah, it was I'm grateful that it was a pinnacle to what we are creating in the city for Africa, Afro beats.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
definitely. Thank you for sharing. TYB?
Yeah. Folks, we are in conversation with the amazing Tony. Love the Afrobeat Music Talk Radio, your number one African Caribbean online radio. We are here every Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So tell a friend to tell a friend that, hey, this is your radio station. It's a one stop shop where our traditions, our music, our history, our geography, our cuisines, everything is on this radio station. Tommy, you know what? You said something that resonates with me. You know, embarking on a tour gives you a different version of you.
Hmm.
The tiredness, the time zones. As a matter of fact, now I can't eat before 10 o'clock
Right.
because I've been doing it over and over and
Mm.
over and again. So my body
Yeah.
has gotten used to it.
Yeah.
And it also gets you always prepared, no
Hmm.
matter whether you're tired or not.
Yeah.
Your first opening for, was it Davido, right?
It was Wizkid.
Whiskey, yeah.
Yeah.
How did you feel getting on the stage for the first time?
Uh,
Huge crowd.
yeah, it was massive. It was at Rebel, so that was like a 4,000 capacity. And I think the most I'd ever done before that was like 900 in my school. I was like, oh, well, this is a
Stop
big
it.
change. It's a
Yeah, a lot
lot.
of people here.
When I was just singing the national anthem, I wasn't singing my song. I was
Hmm.
confused. Um, yeah, like I think that that was definitely, man, I was extremely nervous. I was very scared. The thing is, I was acting for a very long time, and I went to school for acting. So, in a sense, I feel like God sort of had a plan for me,
Amen.
um, because it was in school that I really learned how to perform and how to break that shell and that mask and that worry and allow your nerves to anchor you to a performance and use that to make a great performance. So I was nervous because now it's like I feel naked. This is music. I'm not performing. I'm not
Hmm.
a character. This is my music. It's my heart. I feel naked, but at the same time, it almost felt like when I got on that stage, the nerves just went away. I felt like I'm meant to be there. It felt like I was meant to be there. Obviously, I had room for improvement. I was like rushing. The nerves were still there, but at the same time, I can't say like, oh, I just wanted to get off. I was, I was like, this is where I'm meant to be. Kind of just felt very right for me.
Very exciting, right? Very
Yeah.
exciting. Yeah, I personally went through that 2008, was it 2008, where Make Poverty History, Bob Geldof's event for the Ethiopian famine, I believe it was that day. And then we were faced, when we came out, we performed with a lot of other artists, Run DMC and all the others. And when I went on the stage, I had to go back
Mm,
to look at myself again. Am I going out there? Because there were about 200,000, 100,000 to
yeah,
200,000
that's a
people
lot
out
of
there.
people. Oh my
That's a
God.
lot of people.
Yeah.
And I was sweating.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was sweating.
That's
But
big.
it made me strong.
Yes.
And from that angle, I had done so many other stuff. So I understand where you're coming from. And it builds you. It
It
really
does.
makes you very, very tough.
Yes. Yeah. It's a different mindset that you have to have. It really has to be mind over matter, especially for shows. Like things always go wrong, technical difficulties will happen. What will you do? It's like you can't just walk off.
The show
Doesn't
must go
doesn't
on.
represent yourself. So yeah, there's so many aspects to it. So I hear you. It's 100,000 is a lot of people.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was quite a lot, and I don't know. It was fun, but I rebuilt my career right from there, and I said, oh, you know what? If I've been able to be on the same stage, oh, then I belong.
Mm-hmm.
It was Grand DMC, Pink Floyd, and all, what have you. We were in the artist village, and it was huge.
Yeah.
But then this is also just to say that how do you measure success?
Mm,
From the time you came out and then opening shows and then being on your own, you're
mm,
successful right now. I will not take that away from you. I will
mm-hmm,
be blaspheming if I say
mm-hmm,
that.
mm-hmm.
How do you measure success at this particular stage in your career?
Yeah, I think I've achieved things. I think that's a better word to use. I've achieved a lot of things. But I feel like success is not really measured by materialism. I feel like success is based on what you really want in this world. And for me, there's certain things in music, there's certain things in film, there's certain things in family and love and money that I also want to receive. And when I feel like I've achieved those things and I'm at a place where I am no longer of service, but have been able to do what I needed to do, then I feel like I have succeeded. Um, yeah, I think that for me, success is not in materialism. It definitely is in peace of mind. I think that's the greatest success you can find is finding peace. 'Cause that's very hard to find. So, yeah, I think I've achieved many things and I will continue to achieve many things. And the success will grow. That's how I see
And on the flip side, has there been disappointments, things that you expected or where you were supposed to be, and then certain things came down on you, and you said, you know what, I have to sit back. But on the second thought, no, I'm not going to give up. I'll have to go there and fight it off, and then make sure that I put things in its right place.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think many things come into play. For the most part, for a while there, I was struggling to find my identity within Afrobeats because I'm born and raised out here. And there was a lot of questioning, there was a lot of pushback, there was a lot of criticism. And it definitely did make me feel like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. But at the same time, I'm like, no one's really forcing me to make this music. I want to make it. So if I can make it and clearly I'm doing well, I'm not going to stop and I'm not going to let my thoughts stop me because people can say whatever they want, but the only person that's going to stop me is me, right? So it was really, I think that was a big one in terms of just knowing and understanding my purpose I'm working with it because it will always come and hit me. But I'm grateful to say I haven't had the worst of circumstances in this world um, to really set me back. And things might have happened like this year, I would say, for the most part, very personal, very family related, that almost set me back completely. But it was almost like it's a disservice to everything that was worked up until this point to stop now. And so I think that's what keeps me going, really.
So, so, folks, we are in conversation with the amazing, the sensational, the incredible oh, Petra.
TYB. Okay, awesome. So I'm happy that TYB asked the question that he asked because it kind of blends onto my question. It may sound a bit cliche, and I'm not sure if you've been asked this question before, but I do think it's important to ask, you know, people like me and you these particular types of questions. But I wanted to ask you, what challenges have you faced by being a woman in such a male-dominated industry, and how did you handle those challenges?
Yeah. Being a
Mm,
woman.
I'm so sorry, TYB, but every woman in the industry, we know it's like a
Mhm,
Yeah.
silent understanding.
mhm.
Yeah. I think there is a lot of there's a lot of what's the word? You're underestimated a lot.
Most
A
definitely.
lot.
Hmm.
And you almost have to give too much of yourself to 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 get anything, but it's not even what you would want.
Mhm,
I think
Mm.
that's what happens a lot for a
Hmm.
lot of us.
Hmm.
And you will receive a lot less if you don't give in to what is told that you must do. And I also
Mm.
think that a lot of women are pressured image wise. I was pressured image wise to appeal to the male gaze,
Hmm.
um, which is just really unfortunate
Hmm.
because it's sometimes it doesn't really benefit you, I would say. So I think that having to conform to certain things because that is what the male will want in
Mm.
in the industry, not the consumer, because the consumer base is women.
As I
mhm.
was just
The,
gonna say
the
that. Like,
consumer base is women. Women are the reason why music takes off. It's not men, it's women.
exactly,
Men
exactly,
consume music that women consume. That's how they make money. It's simple.
exactly.
But in the industry, it's what men want. And
Hmm.
so there's a lot of back and forth. I also will say that right now there's a great time for women, but
Mm.
for in music, and we're pushing and breaking boundaries left, right, and center. And I just hope that, and I know it will happen, that we're gonna also do that internally, and things are gonna change on that narrative as well. And it slowly is, and I'm slowly seeing more and more men kind of understand and start to respect the boundary and not
Hmm.
limit the opportunity based on the boundary,
For
but
sure.
it's still very much there. And it's something we have to deal with inevitably. But I think that that will change very soon, if not already.
Most definitely. And you made a really amazing point, and I really agree with you, and I support it when you said that this is a great time for women in the music industry. Can you just expand upon that for our listeners? Why do you believe
I
that?
mean, look at music right now. It's that simple. You listen to music, and there's always at least one woman in top charts with these men. Obviously, we still have
Hmm.
some ways to go because it's still like 5 to 1 in terms of the
Yeah,
ratio. But
sure.
if we're still there, before it was 12 to 1, it was 20 to 1. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? We've grown a lot still
Hmm.
as women in this industry. And I believe that there's also this sort of rise of collaboration and sort of partnership between women, which was not there before as well.
Mm.
And allowing that will also allow us to grow. And I think it's beautiful. I think we're doing a lot of things to help each other move forward, and I'm grateful to be able to be part of that. And I hope that I get to collaborate with more and more women as I grow as well.
Most
It's vital.
Yeah, it is vital because exactly speaking about the future of not even just the music industry, but of the world. Women are now
Yes,
holding a lot more positions of influence. So I feel
ever.
like not only should it be represented in business and in other industries, it needs to be a representation in the music as well as the art world, because they say art is life imitating art, imitating life, imitating art. So music is a reflection of life. So
Yes.
music has to reflect that too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
yeah, most definitely. So I wanted to ask you another question before I pass on to TYB. So you mentioned that how you initially got into performing was that your dad put on the show with WizKid, and then you jumped on that tour, you got to perform, and then what have you, he ended up becoming your manager. Okay. I think that's amazing. It's kind of like a Beyonce slash Matthew Knowles kind of dynamic, you know? So
Yeah.
so I wanted to ask you about that because I mean, it must be amazing the fact that you have your dad who's an integral part of your career and also in the decision making. I wanted to know if you could actually just speak about that dynamic, and then
Yeah.
also speak about times when you may both have a difference of opinion in relation to where you want your career to go and how
Mhm.
you manage those differences of opinion.
We butted head a lot. That's for sure.
Okay.
Um, that's for sure.
Sure. I can imagine.
It
Yeah.
was very, at the end of the day, it is hard to do a manager artist with a father and daughter. It's not
Mm,
easy,
mm,
especially when we just spoke about women in the industry. So
mm,
as a father, you're protective,
mm.
right?
Exactly.
Um, and so there's definitely, we had a lot of ups and downs. We definitely had amazing times as well. I don't think I would have wanted anybody else by my side because at, at the end of the day, this was someone I knew had my best interest at heart, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, it wasn't, he didn't do it for himself, he was doing it for me. And
Exactly.
so
Mhm.
I'm so grateful to have had um, him by my side. He's no longer with me.
Oh,
He
I'm
has,
sorry to hear that. I didn't know. My apologies.
no worries. He passed earlier this year.
Mm.
But yeah, he's one of the main reasons I am where I am as well. And I thank God for him in every way. And
Yeah.
so I think when it comes to decisions, he made a lot of those decisions. He called a lot of the shots. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I didn't always like it.
Mm-hmm.
But everything we did was also extremely transparent. No decision was made at the end of the day without one of us agreeing to it. So the
Mm-hmm.
decisions were made because he was smart. He's smarter than me. He knows the industry. He knew what it was, which is why I went with his decisions a lot of the time, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But there was he never did anything without my say. We never There was also that respect as an artist, as a partner to another partner. And it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't just I'm your dad, let's do it this way. It was you're my partner, what do you think?
Nice.
You're my partner, this is what I'm thinking. Do you agree? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it created the foundation for what I know is should be crucial in any partnership that I have with anyone now. Because it wasn't just father daughter. It was very
Mm-hmm.
much he very much treated it like a business. And so I'm fully aware of what I need and want in a manager as well, and what is necessary, and what I know for a fact with all the other artists that I know as well who have very strong manager artist relations. It's a key vital part. The communication is number one, and I'm grateful that we had that.
Most definitely. And just to say that, like he'll forever be a part of your legacy, in more ways than one. But it's the fact that he's a part of the foundation of your music, not just because he's
Yeah,
your dad, but because it was you and him, that built
yeah,
the foundation. And you're going to
yeah.
keep going. And your musical career will be, an honor to that legacy,
Yes,
So, yeah,
thank you.
yeah,
That's
keep
the
going,
plan.
bro. Most definitely. Awesome.
Yeah.
TYB?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like to follow up with respect to women in the industry. I know this industry is like a dog eat dog kind of
Hmm.
industry.
It
It's
is.
it's a jungle,
Yes, it is.
For sure.
and I think today women are better positioned to do things themselves, independent of what anybody says. Because I can see that today my cell phone, I can use my cell phone to write music, edit it, do whatever I want, shoot music video.
Mm-hmm.
So I think women are not beholden to the industry per se, because that industry with the big boys, they are there, but they are not there. Because at the end of the day, if I can go into the studio, or I've built a studio in my house, and I can, come out with some hits, do it, I don't think I need it. So in this particular kind of situation here, taking Petra, for instance, Petra has been able, she's building an empire in addition to her musical career. So I
Mm-hmm.
think the way is there, the way has been open for women, because I respect women a lot. On this radio station, majority of the presenters are women.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a woman, we are moving towards a women-centered radio station.
Mm-hmm.
The opportunities are there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see women, like you said, taking it from what you said, how do you see women in charge of the industry? I won't say 10 years, 5 years, within the next 5 years.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's already happening. That this is something that has happened, but it's changing. But the narrative was there, and it's still there, because even these independent artists that we talk about, at the end of the day, if there's a certain way and a certain place that you're trying to take your music, then there's a certain gatekeeper there before you get there, right? And that gatekeeper is who we speak on, is who we're talking about, right? And so that's changing, but for the most part, it's usually men controlling these platforms, controlling where the money will go so that you get to where you need to go. But that is changing. You're very right, and I do think that in 10 years, that, not to say that it won't be a conversation, but it will probably happen a lot less, because there will be more women involved in these parts, because it is already happening. You're seeing a lot more women A&Rs. You're seeing a lot more women executives. You're seeing a lot more women CEOs. You're seeing a lot more women in business, period. And so it is changing for the better, and I'm very grateful for it. But nonetheless, this conversation can get very deep, because it depends on how far you're trying to go with your music, how big you want to get, because then you're dealing with bigger people. And for the most part, that boardroom is full of men. So it just depends, right, what we're speaking on exactly. But yes, of course, it will change. That's without a doubt. It already is.
Fine pass.
Yes.
Fine pass.
Yes.
I I love that song so much.
Thank you.
You know what?
Nice jam.
Thank you.
What is fine pass?
Fine pass is fine pass, Sha. I'm fine pass. I don't want to start again. Like, it's just exactly that. The song, I mean, obviously the song was like me singing to a guy, but I think really and truly it's like, I only think like he's fine because I'm fine. I would only go for fine because me, I'm fine. You understand?
Tell him.
So the standard that I want in a man is because I'm already at that standard, and that's fine. You know, that's the vibe.
And the music is fine.
Mhm.
Awesome track. Seriously, awesome track.
Thank you.
And how you started and how it was well done.
Thank you.
Did you record it in Toronto, Montreal, or?
Toronto. Yeah.
So presently, how is it doing?
The song?
Yeah, the song, please.
Doing great. It's doing numbers. It's doing what it's got to do. I love it.
It's got to do. Yeah, awesome. I love it, and I've listened to other tracks of yours, and you are on to bigger things, and I know that. I can feel it, and I know that.
Thank you.
Yes, if you with me, for instance, if I see or if I experience music, I put myself in there, and I respect every artist who pens down music, because it's not easy. Because whilst you're writing it, is it going to be a hit? Is it going to be a hit? What am I going? But the one that you suspect that is going that you love, most of the time doesn't become the hit. But then, if you come to look at it, and then you sit back and you look at what you've done on a particular album,
yeah,
you know But no matter what it is, at some point in time, it will pop up.
Yeah.
Fine Path, to me, honestly, is my track of the year.
You're being honest?
And being, it's from the bottom
Fine
of my
Pass is
heart
the song of the
of the
year.
year. Yes,
What? Tell him
Yeah.
again.
that's right.
Tell him
Fine
again.
Path, to me, is the song of the year. Because if people haven't listened to it, they should go there and then listen to this. Everything is so perfect. It was well
Thank
done.
you. Thank you so much.
Yes, and
Thank you so much.
I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart.
Thank
That
you.
it's a very, it was well done, and I wish you every success. Keep on giving us more fine passes.
I
Because
will.
This is
Thank
this is
you.
the number one fine pass. We expect
Thank you so much.
we
Thank
expect more. And before we go, Petra, you have any other thing to ask Tommy? Yes, we can go over and on. I'm enjoying
I
this.
know I have a whole bunch more questions, but
Go
at the
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. The producer says
oh,
we can go. The
I,
producer
I,
says you can go five more
5 more
minutes.
minutes. Yes.
I can go all day within 5 minutes.
Let's
Okay.
go. Let's go.
Just 2 more questions, and I
Right.
just wanted to make one statement first because we touched on a really vital point. It's so funny that when you mentioned that a majority of the music industry dominated by men, but the consumers are women. So how is it that men can decide what women want? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if we're gonna get deep with it, that's media. That's media as in all. Look at almost every woman product. It's founded by a man. So
But it
I
doesn't make
mean,
sense. Like, how can
like
men decide
we're
what
not.
women want?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's Wall Street for you.
yeah. That's
Girl,
the
that
comment
conversation is
that
deep.
yeah, that's the comment we're gonna bring up because we're gonna be having a music conference. So we'll definitely
Mhm.
invite you as one of the guest speakers or to take part in
Oh
the
yeah,
conference in the future. But that will be
sure.
definitely one of the questions, as well as the impact of AI on the music
Yeah.
industry, which I won't ask you because we'll be here for another
Mm,
hour.
I
Because that was
know,
2
literally
shows
though.
at an hour
Yeah,
after. But there's so much more we could talk about. But I wanted to
I
make that
know.
statement, you know.
Yeah, no,
Um,
it's serious.
but I wanted to ask 2 things. So one thing is, where do you see your career in the next 5 to 10 years from now? The goals for your career.
I think 5 to 10 years from now, I'll probably be on a world tour. Um, sorry, someone just came in to call. So I like thought I was
Your
like,
fans, your
oh,
fans, your team, yes.
yes.
They are listening a lot. A lot of people are listening.
Yeah.
I think yeah, 5 to 10 years from now, I will be on my world tour, probably
Nice.
finishing up, let's say, my sixth album.
Mm-hmm.
I will have opened or probably creating or in the midst of creating the learning center that I want to create for youth back in Africa.
Amazing.
And I'll probably be working on my third feature film in terms of, as a lead role.
Nice.
And yeah, I think by then I will have also accumulated a lot of wealth. I can
Mm-hmm.
also, after my world tour, I'll just be at home with my children and my loving
Amen.
husband at home. Sipping on my wine, like,
Like
I'm so
I
fine plus. You see
gotta
this
be
life I created for myself. It's beautiful.
awesome. Well, we definitely can't wait to be with you on this journey and to be checking in with you 5, 10 years from now as well, so
Yes, yes. I
that's
love
amazing.
it.
And then my final question of the interview, I wanted to ask you, what advice do you have for a young Tome out there listening to you? She's like 8 years old, like you, getting to write her first song. Like, what words of advice, wisdom would you just give her right now?
I think I wish I told myself that don't listen to anybody else. Don't listen to anyone else when it comes to the things you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I did that because we wouldn't I would have been where I was already, but I listened too much to other people
Mm.
and it refrained me. It slowed down my process. And so I say to any young girl, any young boy out there, just be yourself. If you love something, if it's not cool, who cares? I promise you, 10 years from now, it's gonna be the coolest thing, and they're gonna wish they did it when you did it at 8 years old. So just
Mhm.
be yourself and love what you do, and don't judge yourself, and don't let anyone who judges you affect you. It's hard, I know, but try your best because you'll be so thankful to yourself later. Yeah.
Most definitely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for
Thank
sharing.
you.
Thank you for coming on the show. It's been an amazing, amazing interview. It's been amazing also getting to know you, not just as an artist, but also as an individual, you know. And thank you for also sharing about some of the personal things you've experienced and your journey. It's just been amazing. And just finally, if
Thank
you could
you.
just share with the listeners where they can find you, your music, how they can get in touch with you, all of that amazing stuff.
Yeah. So I go by TOME, and that is TOME, not I. I know I want it to be cool. Leave it alone. I'm cool like that. But TOME. You can find me on all streaming platforms like that. You can find me on social media, TOME Official. And just listen to my new song, Fine Pass. It just came out, and I have my EP Prelude coming out November 17th. So watch out for that, and have an amazing end of your year.
Whoop whoop. Thank you.
And need I say more? You've been, you know what? I would like to tell you, this is your radio station too. I mean, this radio station is for all of us to
Mhm.
highlight what is good and what is best in us within the community.
Right.
And so, having said that, we also would like to thank Richardine from Grand Creek Agency
Big shout out Richard
for
Dean.
that's
Richard
right. My
is
sister, she's down there enjoying. Well,
queen.
thank you, Richardine, for all the support that you've been giving us as a community, as artists, and then giving the opportunities for others to come in. You know what? Sometimes, most times, what I say is that those of us who may have won awards, we are not the best. We are not the best at all. There might be other musicians or artists who may not have gotten the chance to be, known. But all the same, we encourage each one of you out there. If you are a budding artist, hey, if the music is clean, just send it over here, and we'll give you the voice that you deserve. I always say that if you have a story and you don't tell the story yourself, and you get somebody else to tell the story for you, it becomes his story, not your story.
Mm-hmm.
And on this note, I would like to say thank you once again for, you
You.
know, gracing us with your presence on Highway 6 to Africa, the
Thank you.
program that turns everybody's ear.
Mhm.
Next week, folks, Soldier Boy is going to be here, all
Hey.
the way in Nigeria. So, well, it's the month of the Nigerians, it's the afternoon for the Juno Award winners. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Coming up right after this will be Fine Pass and enjoy.
Bye, Love Bay family.